Hello, everyone, and welcome to this live stream session on studying human resource management at DMU. Thank you very much for joining us. Please do leave us a comment to say hi. We'd love to hear from you. My name is Chandni, and I work in the Faculty of Business and Law, and I'll be your host for today. So I'm joined with academic colleagues, Associate Professor Never Muske. Let's start with the introduction. So over to you, Never. Could you please tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Hi, my name is Dr. Never Muske. I'm the lead for the HRM subject group. I've been in the department for nearly 10 years now, and I enjoy what I do in terms of teaching organizational behavior and human resource management, and also leading a team of highly regarded academics and researchers within the human resource management team.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Never. So for the next while, we'll be talking and hearing from our students about their experiences we'll be talking to our academics about the experiences of online, not experiences, but just how online learning works. And we'll also be answering any of your questions. So please leave us a comment and we'll do our best to answer. Firstly, congratulations for staying positive about your future and choosing university. We're living in an extraordinary year that has affected all of our lives and plans. So DMU understands completely what a significant year this is for you, because it is for us too. And if you're planning to start or continue your higher education journey in 2020, then we would like you to know that DMU is here for you every step of the way. Now, your DMU future is our way of connecting safe campus living, quality teaching, one-to-one time with our academics, and a great student experience. So this is all within our diverse and inclusive and welcoming DMU community. We're committing to ensuring that you get that extra help you may need with your life, work, and study. Now, we've been really careful planning for the coming year. So let's hear more from our academic about what you can expect from teaching and learning on your course. So Never, would you like to expand a little bit more on that?
All right, thank you so much. In terms of the teaching and learning, the only difference would be a limited face-to-face. But what I want to assure you is the end result will still be the same. We still make sure that as our students are going to be intellectually enriched, you will still be learning in participative, stimulating environment, even online. That's what we're going to be doing, because we're going to have live sessions where you'll be involved in group discussions. And also, we also have the universities planned that we'll have limited face-to-face sessions per each group. So which means you still have an opportunity to meet with your lecturers and also to meet with your fellow students, even though it's limited. But nothing is going to change in terms of how we deliver. We'll always deliver, like as the university, we're awarded the gold TEF in terms of our teaching, and that will still remain. We'll still be teaching at gold standard. Regardless of being online, it's going to be a new experience for you, but you're actually going to learn a new skill in terms of the digital world, how to interact and how to actually use the digital world itself. So I'm saying to you, don't push this back, because nothing is going to change regardless of the pandemic. We're going to provide you with learning, which is going to be of a highest level, just as much as we've always provided to all the students who have been through the department. In terms of the teaching, what I would say to you is you're going to be having seminars which are going to be small groups. In those smaller groups, you are going to have interaction with the lecturers, and you also have interaction with your fellow students. And if we're not online, what we're also going to do, something we've always been doing using our DM replay, lecturers will be recorded where you can still go in and play those lectures. And the lecturers will be online. There will be also be online discussion forums. So if you've got any issue, you are happy. You should be able to be happy to provide those online, and you'll be responded to. And it's going to be engaging. It's like how you guys use your social media to engage on different concepts. That's how we're also going to be using the learning and the teaching elements.
I agree, and I think it's really going to be a very interesting and different way of learning for everyone. Perfect. Thank you for that, Never. So just to continue, we've got a couple of questions just to answer everyone's doubts and everything along those lines. So the first question is, will I have one-to-one contact with academics?
Yes, one-to-one contact with academics would be available. The systems we have as a university will allow us to for students to be booked on one-to-one sessions, to make an appointment. We will use Microsoft Teams. We'll use Collaborate. We'll also use Zoom to make sure that we are still there. We are not physically together, but we can still engage with you, deal with your personal and your academic issues.
Yeah, that sounds fine. Thank you very much. The next one is, will the assessment be different?
Nothing much has changed in terms of assessment at the moment. The only change which is going to take place is the examinations. The examinations, due to social distancing and the restrictions, would actually be converted into coursework, but all the other coursework will still remain the same. Nothing's changed. Like I said before, we're still going to deliver as much as we've always done over the years.
I suppose that's quite reassuring since it's going to be pretty much similar, as you mentioned, in terms of the same way that it's always been. Yeah, it's always been perfect. Thank you. So the next question: will I still be able to ask questions and get the help I need if I'm stuck?
Yes, definitely. We always want our students to be very inquisitive and to ask questions. You can do that, like I mentioned. There will be classroom on Collaborate where, on Microsoft Teams, where you can leave. There'll be chats. There will be discussion forums where you can raise your question, and the lecturer and other students can also take part to respond to you. Don't ever feel you are on your own. We are here to help you. You can send an email to the lecturers, and in most cases, some lecturers, especially if they use the university laptop, you can still ring them, and their office number are diverted to their laptops. You can have a conversation with them, and your issues will be resolved. We are here for you, and we'll provide you with all the assistance you need.
Once again, that's a great message, Never, to everyone who's listening to us, and that's really positive to hear that from an academic. Thank you. So the next question is, what will my course look like in September? Or like, what's the teaching like in September?
So as a first year, you've got 6 modules which you are going um, to embark on as of October, when we start the teaching. Your teaching would be, like I said before, you've got what are called lectures. Lectures is where you have got a large group of students, and the lecturer is delivering, is leading the teaching. So this will take the form of online, and to probably be live, where students can also interact through group discussions and so forth. and these will be recorded so students can actually have access to them at a later stage when they need to revisit or for revision purposes. Then you also have seminars. Seminars is where seminars are going to be on weekly basis. So most seminars, they're they're not lecturer led, but the students would actually be leading on this, but they are informed by the lectures which would have done before. So this is where students are mostly engaging in the discussion of concepts which they would have covered in the lectures. But you are looking at in smaller groups, probably of 20 to 25 students.
Perfect. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense and gives more clarity as to what's going to happen in September. So thank you. Well, what about the placements? Will they get to go on placements?
Yes, you still be able to go on placement. Most organizations, as you are aware, they've resumed business, and they're still taking on full-time employees. They're also still taking um, placement students, internships, and so forth. So as long as you place yourself into the system of seeking a placement, then as a university we will not stand in your way, but will welcome that and be in a position to assist you to get the placement you need.
Perfect. Um, yeah. The next question is, what support will I receive?
There are various forms of support which you receive. So the first one, which I probably would talk about, is each student will be allocated a personal tutor. So a personal tutor is an academic whom they've got access to, where they can go and discuss personal and academic issues. So this is someone you'll be very close to, and they'll understand your situations. You actually get to know each other on personal basis. So that will be your first point of call. Then there's also program leaders for the different programs whom you can actually go to discuss any academic issues. Then every module has got a module leader. The module leader, if you are not clear of any concept, you need to go to the module leaders and talk to them. Then as a university also, or as a faculty, we provide there's a student advice center where you can also go to and talk to the administrators. They will signpost you to anything, whether personal, academic, and so there will be a lot of assistance which will be provided with you. Like I said, you will be on your own. We are there to help you, and with me as the leader of HRM, I've got an open door policy. You can come to me anytime, drop me an email, and I'll be in a position to deal with any issues you'll be facing. So you are not on your own. When you come to us, you become part of us.
That's once again really reassuring, especially from a new student's point of view. If they've just joined, then having someone, having just an academic allocated to them is just really, really comforting to then go through the first year and understand everything, how the university is working or modules, and just have that extra support. So yeah, definitely. Thank you very much for that. Would you like to talk to us about the assessments? Are they going to be any different?
But in terms of assessment, yeah, we'll probably have to make some changes to some of the assessments. I'm looking at one of my modules which I teach, which is HRMG 1202, sorry, Introduction to Work and Organizations. There's a time constraint test, which is usually an in-class test, and taking into account of the COVID situation and the restrictions and also the social distancing. Depending on the situation in December, if the situation does not improve, which means that may need to be changed to be online time constraint test, where students would be allocated 3 days. Usually, it's from Wednesday to Friday, where they're supposed to write this test. And once you log on, you cannot save and come back. It will take 40 minutes, and then they have to do that. That's the only test which I probably think would assessment which should be affected. The rest of the assessments would be coursework. And I think on introduction to HRM, there's also an in-class assessment that may also may need to be changed if students are not in class. So it may also have to be done online, uh, which will, as a university, we've got the provision to do that as we've done it before COVID. So those are the changes, but the rest of them will still remain as coursework.
Perfect. Yeah, and it's good to hear that if things don't change or if things stay the same, then there's another plan in place as well, which once again is comforting and is reassuring to the students.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you for that, Never. The next one is, would you have any advice you can give to students joining this September?
Yes. Um, when people are coming to university, some of them, they probably take it as a vocational activity where they're going to be hanging around with friends, and then they negate their studies. My advice to you is l- I want you to be serious with your studies from the word go, because your studies actually you are embarking on a new platform. You are now in higher education, and you need to put as much work as you can. It's what you put in, it's what you reap. If you don't work hard, the chances are you probably not get a good classification at the end of your 3 or 4 years, depending on how much time you spend with us. And that will affect you in the long run, especially if you take into account how competitive the world of employment is. And so it will be only those who've got higher or better classification will be able to swim in the competitive labor market. And on the other end, I also want you to enjoy the university life, because this is probably the last time you probably be a student for some of you. And it's not something which you need to regret that, I wish I'd done this at university. But enjoy it, but also remember where the north is. Remember that you have come here to gain an academic qualification, and don't lose sight. And mostly, please also what I've discovered over the years is there's a correlation between attendance and performance. So don't assume that because it's going to be recorded, so I don't need to attend. What you'll be missing is the interactions, the discussions which will be taking place. Yes, you can go back and look at that, but you'll miss out on the discussion. The discussions are very important. So make sure you are part of the discussion. And it's only those people who actually engage who actually retain more, rather than being passive and just listening. But if you are engaging and taking part, you retain a greater amount of information, because you've talked about it, and you're well knowledgeable about it.
Definitely. I agree to what you've just said, and especially just the main point of just keeping a balance ever since you start of having fun as well, but at the same time focusing on what the priority is, and just ensuring that you're always on track as well, which I think is very important. Perfect. Thank you very much for that, Never. Just before we continue with this next question, for those who've just joined us, just so you know, today we're here with Dr. Never, and we're just talking about what study in human resource management will look like in September. So if you have any questions, please keep them coming in, and we'll answer them as and when they keep coming in. Thank you. So yes. Dr. Never, the next question is, what has your experience been of online teaching so far?
Oh, my experience was actually been good. Prior to the COVID, I'd been fortunate enough to to teach an online course, and also to be on the other end, also to receive online teaching. So I've found it to be very good, as long as the people involved engage, especially with the discussion boards when we've got live sessions. They're asking questions and also taking part into the discussion. It is very fruitful.
And would you say there's been a lot of, have students been comfortable enough to ask the questions? Like you said, have there been a lot of discussions in that way and all smooth?
Yes, thanks. That's a very good question. You'd find the discussion board, especially when you've got live sessions, is very, you can set it to be anonymous in terms of who ask questions. And the students are they find it quite easy to ask questions, especially where their friends or fellows are looking at them. Whereas in most classes, you probably find when you ask students for questions, they don't, because they're afraid of what their friends are going to say. But here, some people can just write their questions and without any fear, and so they're not going to walk away without feeling that, oh, I wish I'd asked this. But because they are in the comfort of their own homes, and they are either on their own, so that gives them that liberty to ask the questions, and it helps students, especially some students who don't want to talk uh, in a large group. So that's how good it is. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I agree to what you just said, that sometimes not everyone likes to talk in public, so then just asking
Yeah.
virtually is just much easier. Definitely.
Mm.
What about, will the students be able to get the support they need with their studies? I know you've touched upon this earlier as well, but is there anything else you'd like to add on, especially from the online learning point of view?
Yes, the students will get the support they need, because if you look at it, when we use Collaborate, we've got what is called an open classroom. So the open classroom allows students to go in there, if they've got any questions, to write the questions on the open forum, where the lecturers can go in and look at the questions, and also create a discussion thread with the other students. So despite being online, students will definitely get the assistance which I need. Like I said, um, we still, even after when we had to go online, due to the social distancing, we had students who were actually sending lecturers assignments instead of coming to the lecturer's office, which was no longer available. They were still sending us assignments, where we would review the assignments and send the students feedback. Some students would ring you and to ask questions, or to go through certain issues, or they would email you. And they still support. We will still be providing the student the support they need with their studies. Like I said before, we are here for the students, and so the students need to be assured that they are not on their own. We are there for them, and to help them to get through their studies, because that sense of achievement is what makes us happy. When you've seen a student come from first year, third year, some people have gone on placement, they go through their fourth year, and they graduate, and that's amazing. That's why we are here. That's why we do this job, to help students to make them better in terms of their criticality, their reflexity, and so forth.
Definitely. And I think
Mm.
hopefully this whole question answer session and this whole live stream that we've had has definitely reassured that to them. So definitely thank you for that. The next question is, how will students be able to contact academics?
The first thing which students would do is they use email. Like you'd find, it's a practice that on every module handbook, you'd have the lecturer, details, office number, office hours, email address, then the office telephone number. So that way the student can write to the lecturer, and then also depending with the lecturer's feedback hours or surgery hours, they can still ring the lecturer, and they can have, like I said, especially if the lecturer is using a DMU computer like I do, students ring my office number, and then it's transferred to me. Then I can talk to them over my laptop, and so there's always a way, and we can always set up meetings, especially if a student wants to discuss something which needs a face-to-face contact. We can set a Microsoft Teams meeting with the student where we can be seeing each other and talking through whatever needs to be discussed.
That's great. Once again, it's really great to know that even though things have moved online, there's things like Microsoft Teams through which the student and the academic can speak face to face, as well as, like you said, you can also even call to ask anything. So that's really comforting to know. Thank you very much for that, Never. Well, that's all we have for today. Thank you everyone for joining us and for your comments and questions. You can find out more information about your DMU future on our website, and we would love you to join us for our exciting community event coming up on Friday, 24th July for our offer holders, which is the Big Night In. Go to our website. You can go to our website to find out more information, and we can probably post it on the comments as well. Thank you once again, and enjoy the rest of your day. And we hope to see you at DMU soon. Thank you.